Adam O.S. Time and calculations. The human brain is not an empty blob that can digest any information. After millions of years of evolution, we have tons of predefined algorithms and stored procedures that we use while learning new things. Adam O.S. works in a similar way, but in its case, it is not evolution, but we who decide which functionalities are going to hard code in our agent's layer. How does learning more and more complicated things work in a setup like this? For example, a simple mathematical equation. Typing it in chat results in calling an agent to make a calculation, which is trivial for machines, but not that straightforward for human brains. This is a hard-coded agent and there is no point in making it differently. Additionally, since our Broca area contains understanding of words, there is no problem in mixing different ways of writing it down. Another example would be asking for time. We need to check the watch, but computers have watches built into them, so it is just calling an agent that returns all values of the current moment in time and formats them into a human-readable form. This is a hard-coded agent, and it is not possible to do it in a different way. This is the moment when many of you will think, this is a problem. You need to code every functionality separately, so the development progress is linear. Let's check what happens if we ask how much time is left to a certain hour. First, please notice that from the context of the equation, the number 13 is treated not as a number, but as a representation of an hour. Then, the skill checks the current time, gets the argument from input, checks what the target time really is, because it matters if this is the next day or the current one. This is also an agent that makes a mathematical calculation and returns the result. First, we've not used the agent, just explained all steps to Adam, and then we've decided to hard-code it, as it was just much simpler for the future. Understanding words is a cool add-on. There is no problem with the fact that the number of useful skills is growing in a linear way. The most important thing is that those skills are increasingly complex, just like the skills we learn during our lifetime. Stay tuned for more.